Oh man, that's what I dig about old trucks. Just happened to see that on the fuel tank. What's going on YouTube? Levi at Old Iron Off-Road here. Today we're going on an adventure of a different type. So we're actually making a run to grab some supplies, and we're gonna catch back up at you at a super secret location, and we will reveal at that point what this mission is about. So yeah, we'll see you in a few. So we just pulled into the super secret ninja location. So about a year ago, I was sitting in the shop and a local gentleman stopped by and was telling me about an old Loadstar pickup that was, oof, good Lord, did y'all see that? Try to eat my face. A Loadstar pickup that was on his property that he was looking to get rid of. And I decided to take a little journey over here and take a look at it. Cool old Rio. Farm all action. Came over here to take a look at it, and as we pulled in, I spotted something. We looked at the Loadstar pickup. The Loadstar was rad. It was an old grain truck. Black diamond, blue diamond, purple diamond, pink diamond, whatever. I'm not a diamond series engine guru. But it was immaculate. It was probably 20,000 mile original truck. It lived on its farm its whole life, hauling grain for a mile back and forth every day. Truck looked brand new still. But yeah, I wasn't feeling that truck. And then I actually spotted that guy. '68 Cargo Star 1700 304 V8. I think it has a 5-speed in it. I'm not 100% sure. 2-speed rear end. Ran when parked. And I had to have it. So true enthusiast fashion, I grabbed it without thinking twice, and here we are today. We're gonna try to drive this guy home. The last time it was used to haul an antique tractor. So I'm hoping that this should go relatively smoothly. Fingers crossed. All right, so we've got our game plan and we've got our tools and gear laid out. I brought a igniter. It's actually a cool old, this is like pre-Pertronics igniter for that distributor I just happened to have laying around. Piece of sandpaper in case the points need some trash knocked off of them. Gearless distributor to prime the oil pump. Drilled a run set of oil pump drive. Earl, cheapest Royal King battery I could find. Brake fluid, drain pan, tools, weed eater, fuel, leaf blower, The interior's kind of got some grossness going on just where the headliners fell. It was like that aluminum air bear sound, aluminum like bubble wrap stuff. It's all falling down and rotten. So kind of dust the cab out. Should be pretty straightforward. We're gonna treat it like we do any other engine. Hoping, one, the cab pumps up, because obviously we've got to tilt the cab to get to the engine. I'm hoping, two, we have brakes. I'm hoping, three, that we have clutch. I'd say that's being pretty optimistic, but we'll see how this goes, and we'll take it from there, and make adjustments as needed. So first mission is to see if this cab will pump up. If we can't get the cab up, we can't work on the truck. So it's a hydraulic jack here. I've never messed with one of these things before, so I'm just kind of winging it. I did a little bit of research, and oh man, it's pumping. And we got a latch right here. It's holding on something. Oh man. Sweet. Awesome. Well, that was something I was worried about. So if the rest of it goes as smoothly, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna set this thing back down. It does pump up, so that's good. I'm gonna check the brakes and the clutch. So here you can kind of see how this deal works. This is our clutch pedal, and this is the slave, and basically the brake's the same way. It's got a slave, and this is called, it's a hydrovac system. That thing looks pretty gross and crusty, and it looks like awesome. No clutch. No brake. Well, all right. So I guess we'll address that. I don't know what we're gonna do, but we'll make something happen. Hopefully we can pour some fluid in them and pump them up. If not, the 2-speed rear end will come in handy, because this is going to be a slow trip home. Yeah, it might not be the best tool for the job. A little dab, and hope that cures our ills. That's bone dry. Well, I guess the positive news is it doesn't look like it's leaking out as fast as I poured it in. I actually think I see the fluid starting to move, or wishful thinking. All right. Well, maybe we'll crack a line on this thing and see if we can get fluid moving in at least the slave, and hope that all the fluid hasn't just poured out of it. I'll come back to that one. Much better.
you. Oh. Come on, guy. Oh, that's completely empty too. Awesome. Which, if it wasn't completely empty, we would have had pedals, so I don't know what else I was expecting. I'll get my head in here and try not to pour brake fluid all over everything and myself. Well, I see air bubbles. And the fluid level is moving. Let's see if we're pissing fluid out anywhere. Well, we made a mess, but we actually managed to get pedal. So, yes, small victories. Small victories. Well, I blew the inside of the cab out and got most of the snow flurries out of it. Just so, if you've ever driven an old truck down the road after it's been sitting for a long time, you know firsthand that everything that can hit you in the face will. So, we tried to get most of the junk out of it so that wouldn't happen. We managed to get brakes. Well, we have pedal. I can't say if we had brakes or not. Still no clutch, but that's not gonna break my heart. Gonna drain the oil, pull the distributor, prime the oil pump, change the oil, prime the oil pump, put a battery in it, try to work out the clutch, and hopefully drive this thing home. So I guess before I jump too deep in this, I should do things like, you know, check and see if the engine turns over. And I'm also not real sure if there's a safety stop somewhere to keep this cab from falling on you and killing you, but we're gonna throw caution to the wind, and you know, if this is our last hurrah, we love you guys. So let's run neutral. Feels reasonably okay. So yeah, let's change the oil. I'm sweating like a pig. It's not even that hot out here. So yeah, let's change the oil, prime the oil pump, and then hope that we make things happen. Huh. So we got a new-ish 2300. That's a good thing. Maybe. No, that's the original 2300. It's pretty clean though. No. Normally I wouldn't do this. Normally I'd just throw a boat tank or something on it just to get us home. But we'll give this a go. I'm gonna hope the tank has a drain plug on it. Holy crap. Oh man, that's what I dig about old trucks. Just happened to see that on the fuel tank. So I'm going to give it the old look-see. I'm gonna smell it. Yep, smells like old gas. Let's give it a look-see and see what we got in there. The tank above the fuel line doesn't look bad. At least the back wall, what I can see, doesn't. Smells pretty old, but I don't really care about that as long as it's not a bunch of rust in it. So looks like it's got a filter at the tank. So I mean, I've done dumber things. I don't know how this is gonna go. I'm probably gonna have to go get a proper. Nope. I was gonna say I'll probably need a proper wrench, but the fun part's gonna be getting this back in and not getting fuel all over me. Just want to look and see what comes out of it and see how. It's pretty old. It's gross looking. Now, I'm not catching a bunch of debris. I did catch a little bit of rust, but I give it a 40 octane rating. So let me go get this gas off of me and we'll see where we're at. Well, so I played around with the clutch and managed to figure out that the slave, I may have called it the master earlier, but the slave in the the master I may have called it the slave earlier. The one inside of the cab looks like it's moving fluid, but it's not building any pressure, so I'd say it's like bypassing past the cup and the seal. I drained the tank and got the 40 octane trash out of it. We're gonna throw, there is some sediment in the bottom of the tank. We're gonna throw caution to the wind and see if we can manage to not plug up this filter and see what happens. So let's throw some fuel in it and we'll see where that gets us. So save a little bit to pour down the throat of the carb. And with that, I think we're ready to kick the tires. I'm assuming I can crank this thing over with the cab up. Again, I have zero experience with these trucks, so I may be doing something wrong. Just laugh at me. It's fine. Somewhat tight-ish. I don't know what's gonna happen. No sparks, that's good. Maybe. Fingers crossed. I think I'm in neutral. Seems neutrally. Ah, boy. All right, well, it turns over. Okay. Well, we already dumped some fuel in the carburetor, so I assume that it did what it was supposed to do. I wouldn't necessarily expect it just to jump to life, but I kind of was hoping so. Yeah, let's give it another cranky crank. I think the next logical step is going to be to take a test light to the distributor and see if maybe the points are crap, or just make sure I've got 12 volts to the coil. So we're gonna check that real quick. All right, so I figured I'd take this second as a teaching moment for anybody that cares to listen or feels like I might have something to offer. If you don't, skip past it. But so we weren't getting any fire, and I checked first thing coil, make sure we were getting power there. We were. Next thing I checked was to see if the wire coming from the distributor was grounding or not. So I'm sure most of you, hopefully most of you, are familiar with ignition systems and how these work. If not, here's your crash course. Set of points is simply an open and closed contact and can be troubleshooted with just a basic ohm meter. Yes, I carry an ohm meter in my tool bag, or a multimeter in my tool bag. So I had I checked the negative wire to ground while I was cranking to see if it was actually opening and closing, and it wasn't. So immediately I opened up the cap and got to looking, and there was an edge of the contact, edge of the points contact, that was burnt and wasn't allowing good contact through the point. So the distributor was never grounding, and if the distributor never grounds, then the coil never grounds and it can't build up energy. So there you go, crash course. We're gonna throw these back in. I carried, I don't know where it went. Here it is. I brought a little piece of sandpaper with me, piece of fine grit sandpaper folded over, and there's a wasp. I hope I don't get stung. And that's basically pull the points out, snap them closed, drag it out, dress the points down, and they cleaned up pretty nice. And I actually just checked them with a multimeter. I'll show you how you check them. Super simple. Multimeter set on continuity. Go on one side of the points to the post. We got a beep. They're good. They're closing, and vice versa. Obviously, they're going to open when you break the point. Easy enough. So points are functioning. Luckily, we were on the high side of the cam lobe, or the distributor, the points lobe, and we're gonna throw it back in there, and I think it's gonna run. All right, so we got the points all dressed off, and I checked them with an ohm meter. They're opening and closing. I've already drizzled some fuel down in the carburetor, so don't be surprised when it does already have fuel. And oddly, looks like the accelerator pump is actually working, oddly enough. So I'm happy about that. Let's see if this thing's gonna run. That's pretty good. It kind of sounds a little rough, but at least it's running. I don't know about that. I'm totally not pouring as much into this thing as it looks like I am. I'm actually drizzling it into the vent hole so it fills the bowl. I believe we may have given her a little too much sauce. I don't think that the fuel pump is happy. So thought the fuel pump was the situation or the issue. Decided to investigate a little more before giving up, and the pickup in the tank is completely stopped up. So we have a tank, we have some ratchet straps, and we have some hose that we can use. So I think we're actually going to attempt to rig up some sort of a tank and gravity feed it off the bed and see what happens. All right, so we did a thing. We've got a super fantastic tank set up here. I actually drained and recovered what fuel was, but look, we're using a filter, so it's fine. Drained and recovered what fuel I could. Oh, cool. It looks like the fuel pump is leaking profusely, but never mind that. Like I said, I decided to dig a little deeper instead of giving up, and see if it'll at least pull out of its tracks and see if the brakes are stuck and see what else we can possibly find wrong with it. So I managed to get it running and driving, and it's trying to pull out of its own tracks. Both tires are turning. I had to start it in gear, but now the drivetrain's bound up and I can't get the transmission back in neutral. So Bob's coming with the tractor and he's going to give us a push, and hopefully that's going to free it up and it's going to drive out of its own spot. Well, so it moved from there, or I'm sorry, from over there to over here.
under its own power, thanks to Bob. Bob showed up like I was literally fixing to give up. I had the shifter bound up, and I actually broke the PTO switch, or not the PTO switch, I'm sorry, the 2-speed rear end high-low switch when I was letting the cab back down, trying to get the stupid thing out of gear. Yeah, Bob showed up at the exact time, gave it a little push, it fired right up and came out of the hole. So we are going to get a new master for the clutch. I'm going to come up with a little better tank setup. I may actually just come over here and drop that tank and take it and have it boiled out and recoat it and bring it back over here and put it in, run some new fuel lines. Yeah, clutch and some fuel, and I think this thing will be ready to motor home. So thanks for watching.